So I work as a doctor. The plan is to work in mental health, specifically within kids. That's what I want to do. But we shall see. So I'm Pakistani by origin. I see good points and bad points. I really, really do. So I think the good points are a lot of the answers to mental health can be found within our religion. Our religion is a very peaceful religion. Islam literally means peace, right? So I think there's a lot within our religion that can be linked to mental health. The Prophet, suffered his own, suffered his own sort of mental health issues, let's call it. And I think there's a lot just in terms of having a religion, and not necessarily even just Islam, but I think having a higher purpose and having a spiritual sort of aspect of your life really does help with mental health. However, I do think there's bad points because a lot of people's mental health can be linked to their religion, unfortunately. But now, in my recent episode of mental health, Islam's actually been a really, really big help. So, like, I kind of just want to turn to Allah a lot more. I trust in Allah a lot more, which is easier said than done, really. Masjids need to take responsibility because masjids are our places of worship. They're our homes. Where else can a Muslim enter freely? So I do think masjids in general need to take a bit more ownership regarding mental health. Muslims are a huge community, and mental health is a huge thing within our communities. We've accepted we're massive. We've accepted the problem's massive. Why is no one tried to fix it, or why is it being so slow regarding fixing it? Even now, recently, if you speak to elders, they'll explain things that have happened to them, and you're like, you were going through depression. I'm first generation, so my parents came to this country, and I just sometimes just think how difficult must that have been? You came to this country with very little money, sharing a house with God knows how many people. That must have been such a big hurdle for you to get through. Of course, your mental health must have been impacted, but I don't think mental health is a new thing, as in, oh, suddenly depression is now affecting the Muslim community. I think we're accepting of it and we're giving it a name now. I'm Pakistani and I'm Meepuri by origin. Do we even have a word for depression? We can all explain breaking an arm or getting a brain tumor, but can we explain depression? Can we explain schizophrenia without going into the whole jinn aspect? No, of course we can't. We believe a lot of services aren't for us, but it's no, the NHS is for everyone. Anyone should access these services. And I see it as someone who works in mental health. I'm like, this proportion of our patients does not match to what's outside. And that's not because this service is inadequate. It's because we unfortunately can't go and get people. People need to access us. I worked in mental health hospitals. You hardly see an Asian person. I'm like, this isn't representative at all. Why aren't we teaching each other about mental health? We're all taught about how to be good Muslims and avoid hellfire. And for me, I think that's equally as important as teaching people how to deal with their mental health, because it's such a big burden, especially when you're in a community where you feel as if you can't talk about it, because then you're trapped in a mind that isn't working at its best. And honestly, that's such a dangerous environment to be in. You just feel trapped and trapped and trapped and trapped, and you just want to get away from it. And unfortunately, even suicide is a thing for Muslims. And I'll be honest, the first thing when you think of suicide to Muslims is, oh, we shouldn't be doing that. Okay, but no one's thinking, why did he or she end up killing themselves? We're talking about the impacts, but how about what led to him or her getting there? We're not talking about that. Even things like that we need to focus on and just think, well, okay, so-and-so's daughter might have killed himself, but how about we as a community now think, what if that was my daughter? What if that was my son? How about we prevent that and start thinking about this?